Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to show you how to use color changing vinyl. It is super fun. If you are new to my channel, I would love it if you consider subscribing, and let's get into the tutorial. So I decided I'm going to be adding lemons to a mason jar. I found this SVG on designbundles.net. I really like this website because it has a huge variety of different SVGs, and I like this one because it had a variety of lemons. So I'm going to click on download files, and I'm just going to select this and it'll bring it to my downloads folder. You can see it'll bring it down here, but I am just going to go into my downloads folder. Here it is in my downloads folder. I had a zip file, and on my Mac a lot of times it automatically unzips it for me. But if it didn't do it, you just double click on this on a Mac, and on a Windows you'll have to right click and unzip the file. And then I'll just double click in here, and here's all of the files that it came with. I am going to be uploading all the SVG files. Cricut works the best with SVG files. So I'm going to go back into Cricut Design Space. Now I'm just going to start uploading those. So once again, I'm just going to grab one of the SVG files. I wish it would let me upload them all at once, but you have to do it all separately. I'm not going to upload the leaf one because I'm just doing lemons. Now I'm going to select on all of these and insert them into Cricut, and it's nice that you can select all those at once at least. While this is all grouped together, I'm going to go up and change it to yellow, just since that's the color that we're going to be using, and I'm just going to make it smaller too. I measured the size of my mason jar, so I'm going to grab a square and make it the size of the mason jar. I'm going to come up here and unlock this. Then the size is 2.5 by 3.75. And I'm going to duplicate these twice because this mason jar on the side, it's about the same size. So I'm going to be putting lemons on the front, side, and the back. Hopefully I'm not overdoing it, but we'll see. Now I'm just going to arrange all of my lemons how I want it to show up on the mason jar, and I actually already figured out how I wanted to do it. It took me a little while just to kind of play around with it, but I'm just going to kind of do the same thing that I did before I started filming this video. And also I need to move all of these to the back. I just right click and hit send to back. Now I'm just going to arrange these how I want them on the mason jar. And I'm just going to zoom this up a little bit so you don't have to watch me do this whole thing. I want to add this to the side, so I'm just going to click on it and hit duplicate and bring another one over here. Let me know if you guys have tried the color changing vinyl before, and I'm curious what you made with it because there's so many fun things you can do with it. I'm using the brand Teckwarp, but there's other brands as well. But Teckwarp sells a cold and a hot changing color, so it's kind of fun. Okay, so that's how I'm going to have this on my mason jar. And like I said earlier, hopefully it's not going to be like over the top with all the lemons, but we'll see. So now what I'm going to do is hide these squares or rectangles. And what you could do next is attach each group of these and place it on the mason jar. But I don't know if I want it exactly lined up like this. I'll kind of play it by ear when I have it. So I actually just took a picture of this so I know what I want it to look like, and that also helped me decide my sizing just by putting that template in there. So now I'm not going to do anything with the sizing. I will just keep it just like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click make it. Oh, I'm glad I showed this. I still have to attach some of it together, so let me hit cancel. And each of these lemons are only grouped together. They do need to be attached, so I'm going to attach each one. So even though I'm not attaching the whole group, you do still have to attach each separate lemon. And even this one, if you look down the layers panel, it has 2 layers, so you have to attach that one as well. Okay, now I can click on Make It. It looks like everything is attached correctly now, so then I'll hit Continue. For this vinyl, I'm just going to select the vinyl setting. I'm using the yellow cold color changing vinyl. I'm using the Teckwarp brand. I love their vinyl and I bought it from Amazon, and I can leave a link down below in the description box. There is a clear layer on top, so if you use this vinyl, remember to remove that before cutting. I have made that mistake on a different Teckwarp vinyl and forgot to remove the outer cover. I always like to place my whole entire vinyl roll on the mat instead of trying to cut it down. It helps me reduce vinyl waste, and I ended up keeping that clear outer piece attached to place it back on the vinyl when I was done cutting it out on the Cricut. I load the vinyl into the machine with it face up on the mat, and the Cricut will cut out the designs. Here I'm just cutting out the pieces, and I place the clear cover back on top of the vinyl. I'm not sure if it's needed to protect it, so I decided I would just keep it. Next, I weed out all the negative space of the vinyl. The Teckwarp vinyl is really easy to weed. The only difficult part with this was it's almost clear, so I had to make sure I wasn't losing any pieces. Sometimes if a vinyl piece doesn't want to stay down, I'll use the weeding tool to keep it from lifting up. I had my nail polish holder out that I use for weeding, and I realized I didn't even need it because all of the pieces were pretty big. When I was done weeding, I cut out each piece separately. I use rubbing alcohol to spray onto the mason jar. This will clean it and help the vinyl stick better. I found this spray bottle at the Target dollar spot and love using it for my rubbing alcohol. I found this mason jar at the Dollar Tree. I really like finding glassware there. It can be really good quality for just $1. Next, I grab my transfer tape. I'm using clear Duck brand contact paper. The Duck brand is the only contact paper that has worked for me for transfer paper. I remove the clear piece of the transfer sheet and place it on top of the vinyl. Then I scrape down the front and the back really well. Scraping down the back is the best trick. It really helps the vinyl stick onto the transfer paper. Then I remove the backing of the vinyl. I press it onto the glass and try to remove any air bubbles. The mason jar wasn't totally smooth, which did cause some air bubbles. Then I remove the transfer sheet. I follow the same process for the other vinyl pieces. I also like to reuse the transfer tape a few times before getting a new piece. I forgot to weed a few really tiny pieces in the lemon, and I love using my pen tool. I decided to remove it with that. It works so well. I had to use the pen tool a few times to really get the hang of it, but I love it. Here's how it looks with all the vinyl pieces on it. Now I'm ready to test it out. I'm using pink lemonade and pour it into the glass. Look how cool it looks when it turns yellow. It's seriously so fun. You can definitely see bubbles in the vinyl. I have noticed from past projects the bubbles will sometimes work their way out, or it just needs a smoother surface. But I think this was such a fun project. Let me know what you think of the vinyl. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please consider subscribing if you are new to my channel.